Yeah, that gets us dancing right here on the Upper Room with Joe Kelley here on WVOF, the voice of Fairfield, 88.5 FM. We're with you until 10 o'clock this evening, and that song, It's All Right, is from Promised Land, the great album from Dar Williams. And she's busy on the road, but awful nice of her to join us tonight in between gig dates. And today's an off day for you, right?
That's right.
Yeah,
we're having a day off in Indianapolis.
How do you spend it, and where'd you play last night?
Last night we played in Chicago.
Okay.
And today, you have asked me on the worst day. I did nothing. I just swam a little bit just now.
Oh, okay. So that's nice. Summertime and traveling on the road. So who's controlling the music on the tour? Listening in between cities, as far as in your bus or.
Oh, who's in charge of what?
Listen to music on the road in between venues.
You know what? We all have people that we've worked with, so we talk about them and their latest projects and stuff. I mean, it's a trio and a tour manager and a sound dude who've all been out with tons of different people. So we've been. Jordan came to us with from Katie Herzig, so. I hear little snippets of her music sort of being edited and looked at online. And the tour manager goes out with Sean Colvin, who popped up on the bus actually the other day to say hello. And so it's more like we talk about people and hear snippets of people's latest works and albums and unedited roughs and stuff, and then we just sit around and talk and eat.
That's
so
right.
The music's very sporadic.
An occasional swim, and all the information for the upcoming tour is at darwilliams.com, darwilliams.com. Tomorrow night at the Bluebird Theater in Bloomington, Indiana.
That's right.
Heading down through Michigan and then Annapolis.
Mm-hmm.
More importantly, you will be performing Sunday at Pinckney Park, Rowayton, Connecticut. An outdoor show, right?
Yeah, so they say. Yeah,
right.
And I'm thrilled about that. They're very fun this time of year.
Yeah, I think I DJ'd a party not too far from them. It was like a 70s night, DJing just a party at the library there, which is not too far. So Rowayton's pretty nice.
Yeah, too bad there isn't a 70s thing going on after the concert, because, it's our last concert. We could really, that'd be a good party for us.
Yeah, tear the town down and make a big scene. So you're on the road promoting the record Promised Land, but you have had so many great things happen this year, specifically the Pete Seeger birthday show, which was featured on PBS. I caught some of that, and wow, what was that like, and getting invited and then the actual night and performing at MSG?
Well, it was I was invited by his grandson, and Tao, who's a friend we all sort of live up in the Hudson, what we call the Hudson Highlands, and Pete lives a couple of miles down the road, and I was actually on the board of Clearwater, which is his great organization for the Hudson River. That's like an educational sloop that goes up and down the river and brings on school kids. So it was a real thrill to get, Tao calls for other reasons too, but this was a really fun phone call, so that's an interesting question. But then the thing itself was, I actually feel like it was hard to get a hold of it until I got out onto the stage, and instead of feeling nervous, I felt completely invigorated and excited and happy to see the audience there, because they're all singing along, and, off stage it was kind of like I was practicing this song with Billy Bragg and Ruthie and her husband, and the song we were going to do, and then this SUV pulls up, and out of it jumps Bruce Springsteen, and he grabs Billy Bragg, gives a big hug, and Patty comes out of the car, and then Billy Bragg comes back to practicing, and I just didn't quite know what to make of the whole thing. But the audience, seeing 4 generations of people,
wow,
who were inspired by a guy who was blacklisted for being a communist, so wrongly, it's sort of a power to the people moment that you cannot. It just affirms everything that you believe about the people. It was under this roof in Madison Square Garden, this hot ticket, stuffed to the rafters, everybody singing, every age, every generation. And, Pete looked a little, disoriented at first. I was afraid. And then apparently when he got out on the stage, he understood that this wasn't just, a bunch of people wishing him happy birthday. This was a proof that the people win. And, you go through the vicissitudes of governments and corporations and movements and people telling you terrible things about yourself. But at the end of the day, the people are united in song. It was really a big thing that way.
Oh, yeah.
And then it was really fun to see Ani. I was in Ani's, dressing room, and it was fun to see Toshi Regan. And, it was very fun in all of those backstage ways. But really, really an important thing when she got on the stage. And that was the audience, not even us, not even the performers.
So there's most likely, if they check the PBS listings, re-airings throughout the summer, you think?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, as far as, I know that it was aired, my parents saw it. I have yet to see it, but my parents saw it. And then I was flipping through some channels, and I saw Emmylou Harris and me and Bruce Colburn standing, and I was like, wow. And I was like,
right moment.
Yeah, and I was so pleased. My hair held up a lot better than I thought it had, so that was a really good thing.
Because I like your site. You got pictures, and there's some humor, self-effacing humor, talking about your hair with the pins afterwards, and
right. Yeah, that was. I did the show Mad Men. They have these cabaret shows that they do, like live performances with members of the Mad Men cast, and they brought me in to sing on a couple of the songs with them, and so that when I brought my hair down in a severe recession, that was after it would have been so high and big to sing a number in this total 1963 outfit. I was even wearing a 1963 bra and underwear. Like, they take it so seriously. So that was when I was showing off all my weird post Mad Men hair. But yeah, I try to let people know what it all looks like, what it's all made of, where the steam's hanging out.
There's word from the road and the tour coming up Sunday at Pinckney Park in Rowayton, Connecticut. There's directions right on the site. You can go there. Dar Williams will be performing, and then a little break from the road, and then back right out. Again, for more dates, darwilliams.com. We got to play something again from Promised Land. This is actually your cover of Fountain of Wayne's Troubled Times. And how'd you gravitate towards this song and put it on your record?
Well, we kind of wanted a little lift at the end. Some albums, get a little slow at the end, and we just wanted one kind of surprisingly sort of light thing, but not really light, and that is Fountains of Wayne. They kind of sound light, but they're not at all. They have these very deceptive narrators, and I loved the sort of character in this song. Like he sounds, in the verses it's revealed as like this completely paralyzed, somewhat loserish person, but the chorus is very uplifting, like, but you still might get the girl.
Right.
And I just love that, because I'm a complete optimist, and I just believe that it's never too late to get off the couch, for me or anybody. So, and they're great, funny, interesting guys, and we have lots of friends in common. So so that was a nice connection as well, and so that was cool. But I also want to tell you one thing. We are twittering via my one of the people I'm playing with, because we're going to be in a trio. So Jordan, who plays a lot of instruments, is also twittering, and so if people want to make requests for the show, they can it's at Dar Williams Tour.
Oh, that's right. I saw that right on the website. Yeah.
Yeah, they can tweet a request, which they have been doing, and I've actually been resurrecting songs I haven't done in like a decade because the peer pressure has mounted.
So there's so many, before we get into troubled times, about you're talking about the social networking and everything. Is it overwhelming for artists, and which outlets you go to and to keep up to date and not behind the curve?
Yeah, that's a good question, and yeah, I mean, a lot of my inspiration comes from very still places, and the world is I can get very busy, but I have to like really kind of slow down my heart rate or whatever to focus and write, and then there's this kind of technology thing that in and of itself kind of makes me hyperventilate, and then I have to sort of slow it down and be cool with it. So, but yeah, it's That's the bad news. But the good news is that once you kind of get up with the curve, it's really fun, and it's actually not that hard, So it's just you can't be like one of these people like, what will those kids think of next?
Right.
You just got to roll with it, and not. But so once I do incorporate, it doesn't seem so crazy, and it's really the twittering stuff has been incredibly fun, and it's great for me to keep up with people who've been supporting my music for like 15 years now. I mean, we're kind of a group of their family, so that's fun too.
that's great longevity and many more years to come. You're still very young. So Dar Williams is with us, and we're going to play something from Promised Land. You can get it, of course, at all downloadable sites, darwilliams.com, and we'll come back and speak once again with our special guest, Dar Williams. Really great sounds coming from there, the great voice and music from our special guest, Dar Williams, and Troubled Times. And we were talking about Troubled Times, but you put out the record initially and went out on the road back in September and did a second leg right now, right?
Right. We did a national tour in the fall, and then then I said, look, it was an election cycle. It was there was so much going on. It was actually really exciting, and people were going out to hear live music because it was such a crazy, weird time with the economy and the election being so colorful. Mm-hmm. So people, for some reason, were actually going out and being very rowdy, and it was kind of nervous and fun. But I said, like, let's just have the album be about the album for a month and just have a nice tour bus tour. It just went as far west as Minneapolis, didn't go any farther. And
where'd you play in Minneapolis? We just had a Minneapolis guest on not too long ago.
At the zoo.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Who did you have from Minneapolis?
Gary Hines from Sounds of Blackness.
Oh, very good. Okay.
Yeah.
So we were, we played at the zoo, which was terrific, and Jordan got such a great picture of this bear, and it's fun to mix your worlds together. So
right.
That was totally cool. Then we played at kind of a smaller venue in Milwaukee, which was very funky, and then so anyway, it's just been it's very, very relaxed, fun, like a pickup tour. And then I'm going to go to Alaska, which I was supposed to do with my family, but my son's beginning kindergarten, and I got read the riot act about not taking my kid out of school, which I was like, oh yeah, I knew that.
Right. Yeah, he starts and you take him out right away, right?
Right. I was like, yeah, because I'm completely insensitive and cruel.
Uh-huh.
So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go to Alaska. I'll take lots of pictures,
uh-huh.
send lots of postcards, and then and then I have some New York City gigs and stuff like that. So it's a fun. I have a nice fall, actually not too busy, and then who knows what the new year will bring.
Right. We're seeing you're up in Albany at the Egg and
yeah.
Northampton. You grew up in New York and also familiar with, spent some time in Northampton, right?
I did.
Yeah.
I grew up in New York, and actually I went to Wesleyan.
That's right, yeah.
Middletown. So
tell us about Wesleyan, that interesting university, well respected.
It is. It was. I don't know if I would get in now, but it was really awesome when I was there. It was. I almost killed myself, but other than that, it was very. It was really busy. A lot of interesting minds, an overwhelming amount of interesting, fascinating people, and really excellent professors and stuff. So, and it was good. There were people really cared about their education being something that hooked them into the bigger world, which is still the case at Wesleyan. I mean, there really is a lot of good pressure to take your education and go out and figure out better wastewater systems or better ways to reach out to people and have more community-based health centers and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You got that feeling when you were there that you shouldn't squander your education by just making a big pile of money. Like, that's just too boring. And
right.
and that was cool. It was very and I was a theater major, and I wrote a thesis, a play for my thesis, and it was atrocious, but it was so good to do something so big.
Uh-huh.
That was so awful and so big. Like, what I learned from that, I got a lot from it because they let me put this thing on a big stage and really watch it come to life, and so that was another cool thing. You could do theater anywhere. You could do it on a big stage. You could do it, in a locker room,
mm-hmm.
and like an existential kind of play. So it's worth its reputation. And now kids go there who are so much smarter than I am. They blow my mind.
Yeah, I was looking at like some of the universities I went to, and like the SAT requirements, what they are now. I feel the same way. I said I'd have to find another way to get into school.
Exactly.
Right.
I would have to. There was but you know what? The good news is that there are a lot of schools that are, all of the. There are a lot of places that I tour now, and that aren't as sort of well known necessarily as Wesleyan has become, and they're excellent schools, you know, and the kids are just, and actually a lot of the state schools I go to, you know, less of these sort of expensive schools, more state schools. I did a peace rally at one of them, and I said to the kids, like, you know, don't worry, you should just get up and say whatever you want. You know, you don't have to talk about this, you can talk about anything. They'd all pre-written their poems and raps and speeches and essays, and one kid got up and he's like, I just feel so inspired, I'm going to, you know, extemporize a rap for you right here. And they had an award-winning poetry slam team who got up and did their thing. And I was, you know, it's sort of, there was, I thought, there's something that's happened with state schools in the last 20 years that's picked up the slack for some of these schools that have gotten so through the roof in so many ways. And that's a cool, you know, and people are getting really psyched to be like, state school, I'm from a state school.
Yeah.
So when the time comes, if my son is, you know, gets on his SATs what I got on my SATs, I think there's a lot of good places he can go. Or maybe he'll just be a, you know...
He'll succeed on tour, you know, recording and touring.
Exactly.
Right.
He'll be a drummer, or, you know, somehow maybe, you know, he'll lead biking trips. Who knows? But he's we'll see what he turns out to be.
Dar Williams joins us right now. She's on tour, and she will continue her tour tomorrow night in Bloomington, Indiana. If you're listening to our internet feed at wvof.org, if you listen right here on traditional radio 88.5, right about, I'd say 15 minutes from the station here. She'll be performing in Rowayton, Connecticut at Pinckney Park. That is this upcoming Sunday, playing just a great catalog of music and, of course, songs from Promised Land. One of the songs we're going to get into right now, Buzzer. This was inspired from I think, a book that you read a while back?
Yep, at Wesleyan.
Yeah.
I read, it was a Psych 101 book that a lot of people read for their Psych 101 courses called, I think it's called Obedience to Authority. And now I'm not so sure, but it's by Stanley Milgram, and it was about a test that people came in off the street at Yale from New Haven and did this test, and they were told that they were the control group and that they were just there to, you know, press the buzzer, turn the knob, whatever, to administer electrical jolts to a so-called student who was an actor, and to test the effects of punishment on learning. And so they, of course, the people with the buzzer, the proverbial buzzer, were the ones being tested for their obedience. And I was just so, you know, in college, it was all about the question of obedience. And after college, it was much more about the question of power and how power is used. And, you know, Yale University is a very powerful place. And I just imagined these people coming in and, you know, trying to sort of keep their lives scraped together, doing these science tests as part of their income, and, you know, pushing that buzzer and then being told that they're fascists.
Right.
And I thought, well, isn't that a little ironic? So it just changed for me. Instead of being like people shouldn't be obedient, it was, well, why are we? How do we get ourselves in that position? And what's going on in our society that creates that vacuum of obedience? So that's where the song really became a song.
All right, this is Buzzer from Promised Land. Go to darwilliams.com, darwilliams.com. We'll come back and talk about the making of the record and the upcoming dates on the tour. Dar Williams is with us here at WVOF. All right, you'll be hearing and seeing that great talented musician this Sunday night in Rowayton, Connecticut, right along the water in Pinckney Park. And Dar Williams, want to thank her for joining us. She is busy. She's on the road, so we're going to bid you adieu and just thank you. It's an honor to have you finally on the show.
Thanks so much. I got to go meet the band for dinner.
That's right. Hey, you got to keep the band happy, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's right. So we hope to have you on, you know, like we said, at another time on the show, and hopefully we'll make it out to the gig on this Sunday night, Pinckney Park, Rowayton, Connecticut, and go to darwilliams.com to find out more information. So thanks so much, Dar.
Thank you.
We're going to play right now, Go to the Woods, and have a nice dinner.
Thank you. Thanks.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.